Hey, this is Dr. B, and welcome to your General Chemistry Summer Prep course. This is an intensive course that's approximately 3 weeks long. It consists of about 21 different sessions, and let's go over what it involves. We'll begin with some inspirational thoughts to get you motivated. We'll show a typical schedule for general chemistry. Some useful resources, that's a periodic table and some formulas. And then we'll go over a little bit about each chapter and have a quiz for each. The goal of this prep course is to give you some exposure to each of the most common chapters that you would see in a general chemistry course. We'll begin with some things to memorize. We need to get that out of the way. That consists of 4 separate sections. It also includes significant figures. We'll then start with the atom, stoichiometry, solutions, typically one session each for these, rates also known as kinetics, chemical equilibrium, acids and bases, buffers, gases, bonding, intermolecular forces, energy, and electrochemistry, and then we'll put it all together. These are the most common units you'll see in a general chemistry course. For this summer prep course, we'll spend the last week solving problems to make sure that you are comfortable with that, since that is the main focus of most of these courses, is to teach you how to solve problems. So the first thing I'd like to say is congratulations. You've done well in high school. You've been accepted to an excellent university or college, and you are ready to go. In fact, you're so ready to go that you want to spend the summer preparing for this, which is, which is great. One thing you will find, I think, in college as opposed to high school is that you need to find a way in college. You will have resources to be sure, but there will be those times where you may not find that you have the support network that you might have had in high school. You might have to find an alternate route. If the wind will not serve, take to the oars. If the solution that you find is more difficult, it is not something you're thrilled about, but it gets you there, well, good for you. That's the kind of thing that you may find happening. You need to find a way to solve problems on your own. Now, that doesn't mean solve them just you. That means find a way. Oftentimes, the best way is to take advantage of the services that are available. Many of the colleges have services that involve undergraduates, teaching assistants, maybe even the professors themselves that will help you out. Never try to solve these things on your own, but always try to find a way to solve them, period, right? Find a way. Be scrappy. Do what it takes. Don't think that there will always be a planned set format that you will go through. If you need to find some data, don't expect somebody to do it for you. Be scrappy, find a way to get things done, do things on your own. Here's a typical schedule for general chemistry. Now, the one I've chosen is from Penn State. This is rather dated, but this might be the typical sort of thing, the typical sort of syllabus you might see at a given college. I'm a professor at Quinnipiac University, and this closely resembles the schedule that we use. Okay, so starting sometime before Labor Day, you'll get an introduction. Now, there's a lot right there. This might involve a lot of the memorization, a lot of the significant figures, a lot of the foundational material that we're going to talk about right in the beginning. Then they start talking about atoms, how to do the math associated with them, chemical reactions, gases. I'm not going to read each of these, but this might be a typical sort of order for the first semester. The second semester will pick right up there. And here's the chapters that you will cover. You should see that these resemble the same things we'll be reviewing briefly. You'll basically, in this prep course, get a one slide, if you will, review of each one, just enough to get you comfortable with it, have you solve some problems with it. So when you show up in the fall, when you hear things like, acid-base equilibria and solubility equilibria, you'll have an idea of what they're talking about, right? Redox will not be an uncomfortable topic to you. So that's the goal, is to give you some exposure to each topic. Here's some general resources that you may find handy. You might want to print these out. Here's a periodic table that we've created for general chemistry. Now you'll probably find this is a little bit different than a typical periodic table because it's designed to help provide ways to solve various problems. There's especially a focus on the Aufbau order and electron configuration. These little things here help you read this like a book so that if somebody said, what's the electron configuration of neon, you could say 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, things like that. If somebody said, what's a acetate anion, you could look it up here. You probably won't have access to a periodic table with this much detail, but it's a great way to get started. We've also taken the liberty of summarizing the equations you're likely to see for the entire year, and here they are placed on one big fat slide. Now, to be sure, this will vary from professor to professor. Don't think of this as the be-all and end-all, and certainly the order is going to vary a lot from school to school, professor to professor, etc. They will almost certainly not say that the speed of light equals wavelength times frequency. They will use the symbols c, lambda, and nu, but that's what they mean. And this is the general formulas that you'll probably see throughout the year. Okay, this is going to follow with memorization. There's 4 different sections, so I'll end it here. Welcome to your General Chemistry Summer Prep course.